Today, we'll learn how to increase our value of time. Why should we increase our time value? As we learned in previous lessons, our time is limited. And the more we earn in a certain amount of time, the faster and easier it would be for us to achieve financial freedom. So how are we able to achieve that? We could either increase our active or passive income. Here we'll focus on active income. Active income for most people is their salary. Once they hear the idea of increasing their income, they'll intuitively think about taking extra jobs. Of course, it's an option, but it's still exchanging time for money, which is contradictory to our principle. On the other hand, why don't we figure out ways to increase our salary instead? There are basically three main ways to increase our time value. 1. Sell your time more expensive. 2. Sell the time for more times. 3. Purchase others' time. Let me explain. First of all, write down how much you earn per hour right now, say $30. Then, write down $40 and draw an arrow between them. So this means you're now making $30 per hour, but you want to increase that to $40. You got to find methods to accomplish that. Don't worry, we'll give you some advice on how to achieve that. 1. Negotiate your salary with your boss. Negotiation is almost all around us. And it's recognized to be one of the most profitable means of making money. Remember the last time you tune in shopping channels, and the salesman is promoting something you don't really need. However, his words are just like spells, and after several minutes you just bought a new set of knives. And you don't even know where to use them. See how powerful this is? We can apply the same rule to our jobs. One of the biggest drawbacks of job is you don't have control over your salary. It's the boss that decides it. But with good negotiation, we stand a great chance of getting a promotion. Still afraid of negotiating with your boss? Why don't think like this way? The negotiations may only take you 10 minutes, and your salary can just increase. And even if you fail, there's no loss, isn't it? But we still need good techniques to do the negotiation. As a matter of fact, 80% of the negotiation results have been decided before you enter the room. Your daily performance have already determined the results. So write down what you've done for the company for the months or so. And you can put yourself in your boss's shoes. Will I willing to give him a promotion? If the answer is yes, then go ahead. If not, don't worry, after all it's your thinking not the boss's, so you can still step ahead. But what if the boss denies my request? Well, you can then ask him if there's a certain criteria you have to meet in order to get promotion. And once you attain the goal, you have the right to get what you deserve. 2. Start investing now. Buffett once said, if you can't make money while you fall asleep, then you will work until the day you die. Therefore, if you can still make money while you sleep, you can greatly increase your time value. And this is the so-called passive income, which is income which requires little or no efforts. Wonderful as it sounds, it doesn't come without any effort. Instead, one has to devote plenty of time and efforts at the beginning to set up the system. And once it has been set up, you'll then be able to savor the fruitful results. Passive income comes in several forms, like rental income, intellectual property income, investment income, business income, etc. Among all of them, investing in stocks is without a doubt the simplest one. You just have to invest in a few $100 or so and wait for the money to grow. Of course, it's not that simple. You still have to learn first before buying any stocks, otherwise, it's very dangerous. 3. Learn to sell. In this era, whether you're running the business or just a nobody, you must learn how to sell. By sell, I don't just mean selling products. It can also be selling your ideas, just like a politician or actors. The same idea, as mentioned before, if you want the boss to promote your salary, you are actually selling your ideas to him, isn't it? I know a lot of people would refuse selling to others, whether it's because they're afraid to do so, or they just don't like selling to others. People might have bad impressions of sales because of salesmen, but I want you to forget about the word selling, and instead focus more on improving your ability to influence others. Contemplate what you should do to persuade them into taking actions. If you can master such skills and successfully influence others, then you can sell anything even without notice. So, we must acquire such skills. Here are some tips on how to do so. Literally speaking, it's AIDA. Attraction, interest, desire, and action. First of all, you have to make others know you, to attract their attention. Then, tell them a topic they are interested in. Later on, you should trigger their desires, to attack their pain point. What are their fears and desires? Finally, action. Give them an offer too good to refuse. Generally speaking, it's the overall framework of how you should influence others. Let's give you an example. Say you want to promote your salary. So you talk with the boss about a new proposal to attract him, and show possible results to make him more interested. Then, demonstrate benefits and losses if undergoing the project or not. Finally, give him an offer he can't refuse, like you'll take full responsibility of the project, etc. It's just the general idea. If you want to learn more, there are tons of information on Google and YouTube. You can even sign up for courses on Udemy or so. Second, sell the same time more times. In addition to selling a piece of time more expensive, another way to increase the value of time is to sell the same piece of time multiple times. 1. Content creation. Here, I want to introduce to you a method with nearly no cost, and the return can be 10 to 1,000 times. That is, content creation. I believe you've seen YouTube clips that have millions of views. Can you imagine how much the creator has earned? You can publish your work on the internet to people all around the world. It can be an ebook, an online course, a video, etc. If you have a special skill, or interest, like photography for instance, you can either sell your collection of photos to others, or you can shoot a video teaching people how to take wonderful pictures. What's more, if you're good at playing video games, you can also broadcast on all those platforms. All you have to do is play the video games. Isn't that great? The essence of content creation is that you only have to work hard once, and the results are forever. Say, you post a video on YouTube, the video will always be there, and if it continuously has enough viewers, you'll get advertisement payment over and over again, which is an amazing passive income. You might think that you don't have any special skills and interests. You are just an ordinary one. I definitely can't do that. Well, then, I'm going to ask you, who was born knowing to cook? To drive? To read? If you don't have skills, you can start learning it right now. Whether it's reading books or taking courses, everyone all starts from nothing. So don't give yourself an excuse and start doing something. 2. Affiliate marketing. If you don't have your own product or content, you can also promote others' products and get commissions for having a sale. This business model is called affiliate marketing. You don't need to invent anything, and don't have to deal with the shipping, after-sale stuff. You just have to recommend it to others. How it actually works is you apply for the company to be their affiliate, and once proven, you'll get your person link, and if someone buys through the link, you get the money. It's just such simple. Simple as it sounds, there are still a lot of details and secrets to succeed on it, so learn more before start. Third, buy others' time. Since everyone all has 24 hours a day, we can't and probably won't have the energy to do all the stuff. In order to spend our time wisely, we can buy others' time to have them work for us. Then we can invest our time to other more valuable things. Another forms of buying others' time is, more specifically speaking, to be buying others' experience. Learning is the best example. For example, someone might have studied years and condensed his knowledge in a book. If you read the book, you just buy his time and efforts spent. Or you take a course, instead of reading tens of thousands of books, a good teacher can help you acquire the skills in a short period of time. By doing so, aren't you actually increasing your productivity and time value? Finally, let's review what we learned today. In order to achieve financial freedom much earlier, we have to increase our active and passive income, and we can. 1. Sell our time more expensively. You can increase your salary by negotiation, start investing, and learn sales skills to increase the value of your time. 2. Sell the same time more times. Start content creating, and affiliate marketing. And if you don't have the skills yet, just start learning it. 3. Buy other people's time. You can directly buy others' time to have them work for you. Or you can indirectly buy others' experience to save time and efforts.